In this video, I have the 10 best loadouts you need to devour the competition in Warzone 2 Season 4 Reloaded, as well as a bonus loadout at the end that is secretly overpowered you don't want to miss. And of course, to start it off, we need to talk about the brand new full auto shotgun, the MX Guardian. And if you're still using Dragon's Breath rounds in your shotguns, you need to watch more of my videos. While the Dragon's Breath rounds are effective inside 5 meters, you're eventually going to run out of ammo because the fire rate is so fast, or you're going to get caught outside of a building with it and it's just not effective. You almost have to stay inside buildings and only be playing solos for it to be worth it. But if you throw on the explosive rounds, 1, 2, 3 shots to kill to the chest, it's the same for the head. But what about at range? 1, 2, 3 shots to kill. So the explosive rounds, which were broken on the KV broadside, are even more broken on the MX Guardian. But in full auto, you can insta-kill people with this gun, and it is seriously stupid. Anyways, let's get into the attachments as well as the tunings. First attachment, 12 gauge explosive rounds tuned to hip walking speed and recoil steadiness. Now keep in mind, it's a single projectile, so if at all possible, do not hip fire it. Unlike the Dragon's Breath rounds, you actually have to use your thumbs for this gun. Second attachment then is the 7 milliwatt canted laser. We're not hip firing, so we need to be ADSing and have good centering. Sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed for the tuning. I know everyone hates the canted laser, but guess what? It's the best thing you can use for this gun. The iron sights with the recoil, explosive rounds, you can't see what you're shooting. The opponent can't see what they're shooting. It's the only way that you can actually land your shots. HYPM LM barrel is the next attachment. Aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, as well as the long haul 50. Aim down sight speed, aiming out of stability. And the third recoil attachment, Bruin B60, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed. These attachments make the recoil straight up, no horizontal, so all you gotta do is pull down. If you're at longer ranges and can't hit your shots, tap fire it. It's a new KV broadside. As well as that, if you need to unlock this gun, you need to go into something like shipment. You have to get long shot kills, aim down sight kills, hip fire kills, and your face kills. You can get used to the cannon laser with the still broken KV broadside loadout with explosive rounds as well that we're going to go into right now. And then you can get used to this gun while in there, unlocking the other gun, and guess what? You unlock the full auto, you're going to think this was broken before, and then you're going to move on to the MX Guardian. This one's kind of tuned the same, a little bit different. Damage range and recoil steadiness for the explosive rounds, OVL 70 comp, recoil stabilization, and recoil control. This one's a little more needed to be accurate because it's not full auto, so you need to take advantage of every shot. Canted laser is the same, sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed, as well as the dash bolt doesn't have tunings, but increases the fire rate. And before you get ahead of yourself, both of these shotguns are already banned in ranks, so don't get any ideas. Moving on to the AR category as well as the SMGs. Lochman 5.56, still the best AR in the game, zero recoil, headshot machine. We have the 60 round mag for the first attachment. Second attachment is the FTAC Ripper 56 underbarrel, recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability for the tunings. Moving on, we got the Echoless 80 muzzle. You can use the Harbinger if you want, but this suppressor has a little bit better ADS and you don't need that extra recoil control. So we have that tuned to recoil smoothness and aiming idle stability. Lochman Wrap Barrel, we have that tuned to recoil steadiness, aim down sight speed, gives you that extra recoil control as well as bullet velocity. And then with that, my favorite sight, the SD Recharge DX with aim down sight speed and actually tuned to close. With the recent update, they changed the visual recoil in the game, so guns like the TAC V actually have less visual recoil, so then you can take advantage of good aim with the close scope and not worry about your scope bouncing all over the place. Moving on from that, we have the ISO 45 SMG. It recently received the hip fire nerf as well as damage and damage range, but guess what? It's still the best SMG in the game. Lacerda compensator, recoil stabilization, recoil control. Shark fin underbarrel, tuned to recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. 45 auto frangible rounds, tuned to recoil smoothness and recoil steadiness. Now this attachment is kind of preference based. You could run the hollow points for the crippling power. You can run the overpressured for the extra flinch. It's whatever preference you want and how you play. If you don't like people running away, you can use the special round for that. Tuning for this, recoil smoothness and recoil steadiness help with that recoil because while this gun is the fastest killing, it does also have the most recoil. We have the final recoil attachment, A30 Stout, tuned to recoil steadiness and aiming idle stability. And for most of my loadouts, I'm running stun grenades and throwing knives, but I usually play solos and duos and resurgence. If you're playing ranked, you're probably using smoke grenades as well as semtex and drill charges. Preference based, whatever you want to use. Moving on then, we have the battle rifles are finally in the meta again. We have the TAC V, my favorite battle rifle of all time, and the Cronin Squall. Yes, the Cronin Squall got buffed in the recent update. It's a monster in auto and single fire, but it's crazy how strong it is for as little recoil as it always has. TAC V, my favorite gun, 50 round mag, FTAP Ripper. recoil stabilization, aiming out of stability, sack and tread 40, recoil stabilization, recoil control, and then rear grip, FSS combat grip, recoil steadiness, aiming out of stability, and then the SC recharge again, tuned to aim down, sight speed, and close. Now this gun got its aiming stability, not aiming stability, visual recoil got buffed, so it has hardly any visual recoil compared to what it had before. Its recoil is literally straight up. There's nothing you got to do there except pull down that first shot and then just fire away. Moving on then to the Cronin Squalls build, same as it's always been. 50 round mag, F-Tac Ripper, 50 recoil stabilization, aiming idle stability, sack and tread 40 as well, recoil stabilization, recoil control, HR 6.8 barrel, recoil stabilization, aim down sight speed, and the same sight, aim down sight close. This gun is so accurate, it feels broken again. Literally no recoil whatsoever. It'll just pull a little bit at the end, but it is literally amazing again. While both these battle rifles are great in full auto, you can switch them to single fire and they're just as good as the SO14. Yes, of course, the SO14 is still in the meta. Same build as always, 50 round mag, high velocity rounds tuned to recoil smoothness and recoil steadiness. SA Leveler 55 tuned to recoil stabilization and recoil control, so that all you have to do is pull down. 22-inch Boremaster barrel gives it extra bullet velocity, recoil steadiness, and damage range. And then actually the VLK 4.0 optic. Usually use red sight or red dot for everything, but being a gun that needs headshots to really dominate, VLK 4.0 optic is amazing, and it doesn't seem like the gun has a lot of visual recoil. Aim down sight speed and close for tunings as well. And then with this, the Lochman sub. Yes, the SMG category hasn't really changed at all. You have the ISO, the Lochman, and the Vasnev in the top 3 SMG category. Tuned for these, we got 40 round mag attachment, 9mm frangible rounds, recoil smoothness, recoil steadiness, spiral V3.5 flash hider, gives you that great vertical and horizontal recoil control, as well as hardly any ADS penalty. Recoil smoothness, gun kick control for the tunings for that, and then for the bonus movement without hardly any penalties, the L38 Falcon 226mm barrel, recoil steadiness, and aim down sight speed for those tunings. Lastly, the rear grip Lochman TCG10 tuned to recoil steadiness and aiming idle stability. Now this has a lot less movement attachments, but this gun is fast, it has literally zero recoil, it's the easiest gun to use in the game. Then moving on from the battle rifle category, we're moving into the most aggressive loadout you can use. M13B with the X13 pistol. Yes, the auto pistol is for some reason broken right now. I'm sure it's going to get patched. That's why I didn't include it in the beginning. But let's go with the M13 first. 60 round mag, 5.56 high velocity rounds tuned to recoil smoothness and bullet velocity. The M13's biggest weakness is that it has no bullet velocity, so you have to make up for that with the high velocity rounds at least. But being an aggressive loadout here, it's made for more recoil control and ADS speed. We got the Commando foregrip, recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. The Commando foregrip is not really used that often, but it is a one attachment for the underbarrel that will improve the recoil that will kick up to the left. So it seems to pull recoil to the right, so therefore it counteracts it, gives you that bonus aiming stability like the F-Tac Ripper does. Then for the muzzle, the Komodo Heavy tuned to recoil stabilization and recoil control. And then for the sight, SC recharge again, aim down sight speed and close. Now calm down. I know everyone that loves the M13, or if they don't, they're already arguing thinking that the M4 is the better aggressive loadout. We have that one coming up, don't worry. X13, if it doesn't get nerfed, you're going to want to use this as a faster time to kill than all the SMGs right now, as well as being a pistol, so you can easily get your perks right off the rip. 50 round mag, 9mm overpressured rounds. This one's pro-tuned evidently. We're using this one to recoil steadiness and damage range because the pistol doesn't have the greatest damage range. It does right now, but the first damage range doesn't go as far. Sidewinder, remove the tunings in this one. We're going to go recoil steadiness and damage range as well for this one. We need that damage range. It does have a lot of recoil, but it's more visual than anything. Cronin Mini Pro tuned the same way to aim down sight speed and close. And then the rear grip, F-Tac OL Z grip, recoil control, recoil steadiness, and aiming idle stability. Now this gun for some reason is broken. I don't know why. I usually don't include broken guns like this that I don't think are going to stay, but it's literally the same as the SMGs, but literally just spray and pray. It doesn't have any recoil really. It's all visual, as you can see with the scope. Just make sure your first shot is on, follow your hit markers, and you'll beat out every SMG. Moving on from this then, I just said the M4 is next. And the iron sight M4. You can run a sight if you want. I prefer the iron sights, as you'll see in a second. 45 round mag with this thing. You don't need the 60, but it literally has 0 recoil. Literally just aim for heads. A little hard to see in the firing range, but as you can see, no recoil. If you don't want if you want a sight, take off the rear grip, put the sight on, because F-Tac Ripper is important. Tunings are, as always, recoil stabilization, aiming idle stability. Harbinger D20. I feel like you need a little bit of extra recoil control on this gun, so I put this on. Recoil smoothness, aiming idle stability, high tower barrel as well, recoil steadiness, and aim down sight speed. This gun is already fast, so it is great for being aggressive. It's, for some reason, out of the ARs, feels snappy. SAC and ZX grip, tuned recoil steadiness, and aiming idle stability. If you want, put on the recharge with the tunings. You know what the tunings are, same as always. With this, Vasnev SMG. Of course, number 3, number 2, whatever you want to do, it's all preference based. This gun is a laser beam. It seems to benefit more from chest and headshots. 45 round mag, overpressured rounds to give that extra flinch, recoil smoothness, and recoil steadiness on this. Spiral V3.5 flash hider as well, recoil smoothness and gun kick control. And then the broadside FCT stock gives you aim down sight speed as well as aiming idle stability. And the two-tack grip give you recoil steadiness, aiming idle stability. This gun is a laser beam, and it feels really fast and snappy. Benefits from the headshots as well. Wish you could see in the firing range be a little bit better if the lighting was better, but that's that. But before we get into the bonus loadout, make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you're the first to get the best loadouts in Warzone 2. Also, if there's anything I missed, comment down below and let me know. And if you like this style of video, also tell me too, because I usually do the format with the gameplay and then a loadout at the end. Anyway, let's get into the troll loadout that is also the best sniper in the game. And the secret sniper is actually the Strella P launcher. Yes, a rocket launcher is the best sniper in the game because it can one-shot at any range as long as you make direct contact. Now, at longer ranges, you might have to aim a little high or lead them a little bit because of the slow bullet velocity, but it is overpowered. You can shoot campers, you can hit the ceiling above them, get splash damage. It just makes people rage. It's in my latest video, and it's a lot of laughs. Make sure you check it out. But to run with it, you need your best sniper support. My favorite is the M4, especially since they balance all the SMGs. This is better than ever, and it can actually laser beam at long ranges. We got the Phantom grip here, rear grip, recoil steadiness, aiming idle stability, 45 round mag, Corvus / Gen 2. It's pretty much the same as the Spiral flash hider from the SMGs, but the AR version. Tuned to recoil smoothness and gun kick control. And then the barrel, the 7.5 Tempest Firebrand, recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. It makes it a little better at close range, faster, better hip fire. And then for a little bit more ADS speed, we have the Schlager PEQ Box 4 with the sprint to fire speed and aim down sight tuning. Now that makes up all the loadouts I have for you. Obviously, there's a lot more that are competitive. LMGs are very competitive right now, but they have their cons with the ADS. So, I mean, if you want me to make a video on LMGs, let me know down below. But as for that, thank you for checking out all my loadouts, and don't forget to devour the competition.